In Rebelle version 7, you've got structures. It's a new way of limiting how the brush is applied. Unfortunately, it only works with a couple of the tools, so you might find that most of them, it has no effect. The one I'm going to use in this tutorial, Express Oils. So Express Oils in Rebelle version 7. And you can see the effect of this. You've got these dots. These are using the structures. So let's just remove that. Let's just delete the whole thing there. So let's remove the layer. Now that doesn't remove the structure. You can see the structure's still there. So I can deselect it and then there's no structure. So if I apply the brush stroke normally, so let's just apply it. You can see there, it's just applied without any reference to a structure. Window and structures. So you've got window and structures, and that will bring up this panel. And you can see I've got some structures already in there. And I can select that, one of those ones. Now, there's also a structure library. Structure library is the area where you've got everything stored permanently. This is for the document, the structures. This is the ones where you've got them stored away, so you've got your favourite structures and they're stored. So now I can select one of these ones. I'm just going to select one here, and this is one of the default ones that come with Rebelle. So Rebelle 7, and you can resize it, this structure, and you can see it's made up of lots of dots. You can also go hover over the top there, and you can rotate it. Now there's unfortunately no tiling, so the range that's applied is only here, not this area. So if you apply your brush strokes, it's applied just as normal. And you can also resize it and so on. So you can move it around, etc. So press return, or obviously on the keyboard, or enter. And now let's just change the colour so you can see it. Obviously it makes it easier just to show. Apply it, and you can see now you get the dots. That's the structure. It's added anything that's got pixels there, it will add that structure. Now you can see as soon as you go outside that area, you've just got the normal thing. You can just see around the edge, you can just apply it like that. Around the edge, exactly as normal. But inside, you've got that. Now, it doesn't have to stay there. Again, simply select it, and then you can move it. So you can reposition it, press return, and now I can apply it again. And you can see now the dots are outside. Now, you can really push on the, I'm using an art pad and pen. You can override it. But it's this, if you're just applying it just normally with a just basic pressure, you won't, but you can really scratch into it and it will just completely cover as normal. Right, so you've got that. Let's just undo a few of those. So let's just, otherwise it just becomes a bit of a mess. You can see that I've got some additional ones in the library. Well, you can add them just down here. So let's just drag that up here so you can see it in the center. You've got import structure, and you've also got a new structure. So you've got here, you click here, and it will go off to wherever that is. Not particularly useful. Whereas if I click this one, import a new structure, it goes to a folder that actually I want. And these ones are just some of my patterns I created years and years ago. I can select any of these PNG files. Now, I don't know if it selects all the range of different files. You might find that it doesn't, like if you've got PSD or something, might not use that. I don't know. I don't know all the formats of files, but you can always convert them, of course. You can open them and then export them as a PNG, and it will use PNG. So select one of those, click open, and now you can see it's added there. Now I can just drag it over here and just store it away for permanent use. So you just simply drag, put it there. But also you can just click there and you can see it's added. Now it's not great because it doesn't, let's say, tile. It'd be nice if it tiled. Unfortunately, because of course if you drag this out, you can see what happens. Obviously this document's fairly small. The other document's quite big. And you can again rotate it, but you will notice some imperfections coming in. But again, if you want something like rough drawn, I think it's quite nice. Press return, and you can see the structure there. And now let's just change colour and apply. And you can see as you apply it, it just creates it like that. So you can see as if it's the actual image has been brought in. And of course you can use this with photos or loads of other things, or maybe cobwebs or spidery designs. A whole range of different designs could be used. So you might want to add some sort of structure to your image. Maybe you've got some text that you want to use. And so that's one of the ones I've got, strange enough. Got these brushes that I created ages and ages ago, and you can click there and you can see the brush there, the actual structure. And then I can just resize this, move it around, again, rotate it. Now, sometimes it's not always accessible, that rotation, but you can see I've got some text there. Now, one thing you don't get in Rebelle is text. I don't know why I've never put that. It's one of those features I would love to see, but it's not there. And you can see text, so you can bring it in from, say, Photoshop or Critter or another. You can get lots of free applications, like Critter is a really good one, and then just basically create that. Or Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, and you can create all kinds of text designs, which you can then import via this structure into Rebelle version 7. And you can see now, as you apply it, you've got that effect. And again, select it, and you can move it, reposition it, resize it, make it very small, and so on. Now, if you want to, you've got other options here. You can remove, so you can simply remove it from there. If you don't want to have it active, just deselect it. That's the key thing. Just have it active. It's there. Press return. But it's still there. It's still active because it's selected. That's the key thing. So let's just select another one. Here's another one, another design. And it does remember where you've set it. So if you go back to it later, it does store that away. I don't know how effective it is, but it seems to have that sort of, certainly within this file anyway. And it does recall it, and you can then reposition it, move it around, and press return again. And again, you've got the structure. And again, goes to black, and let's just apply. And you can see now, as I apply that, now just because I've deselected it, you've always got to remember that sometimes if you just take that off and just it's not selected, you will be able to just draw over it. Unfortunately, sometimes one thing with Rebelle is with my art pad and pen, you sometimes can end up selecting the actual file and it will just move backwards and forwards. It's a very weird feature of Rebelle. I don't know why. Sometimes also these panels get in the way and you think, oh, sometimes they obviously disappear, but it does makes it really awkward sometimes to, is it going to? So you can see now, as I apply it, you got that. And of course you could apply maybe effects to these files, these designs. So you could create sort of a blurry line, but it has to be done externally. Now, you could, of course, in here, create a design. So let's just go File, New. No. Click OK. So you've got this, and you could create a design. I'm just going to quickly create sort of a nice spindly design. Let's just create a few lines, all that sort of thing. And you, of course, could use a pen, pencil to create sort of all kinds of artwork. So you've got that. What you can then do is you've got File and you've got Save As. So Save As. And you've got here Rebelle, and you can see you've got PNG. So with PNG, and I'm just going to call it Test 1. And I'm going to put it in my desktop. And with that, I can save. So I've saved it as a PNG file. Then I can go to File and New. Let's create a new one. No, don't want to save that. Click OK. Lots of panels popping up all the time. What you can then do is go to Structures, and you can go down here to Import a New Structure. Select that. Now let's go to the desktop, and you've got the test1.png. Click Open. And now you can see it there. And again, just click, and you can drag it over to your Structures library, so it's stored away. Perhaps not one that I want to keep forever, but still, you can just remove it. You can always delete it. So you can select it there and delete it. Remove structure. So now let's just draw off this. And I'm just going to change the colour. And you can see now you've got your design you've just created very quickly. It's not the world's greatest design. You can see it's a nice little feature. You can then, of course, simply click there again, and you can resize, rotate, and move that around. Press return. Whoops, hitting the mouse and the. All right, and you can see applied like that. Now, sometimes it seems to have an effect where it does, and just if you press it really hard, like I say, you can actually override it. You can see you can create some really weird and abstract designs. Also, it can obviously be used for all kinds of different textures you want to add, lots and lots of different layers, maybe on any image, like say text images, photos, anything. They can all be used using this. And of course, you've got all the other tools here that you can then combine with this. But unfortunately, like I say, they just don't. If I apply it, let's just go for inks. And you can see if I got ink, it just completely ignores it. So ink is just one. I don't know why. Don't know why they created that sort of thing where it's certain tools, express oils, it works, but the other ones, it doesn't. So you've got the structures, you've got structure library, and like I say, it comes unfortunately with a very limited selection. I don't know why they didn't add a few more, but of course there are many, many different textures available on the web in PNG format and other formats as well, of course. And then you've got a few other things like small ones like there. You can click there if you want to do that. And that's about all the functionality you've got for the structures and structure library. Also, one thing you can do when you select one of these, let's just click. You'll notice here you've got this, but you've also got up here, you've got this little menu. And you can click here and you've got invert. So you invert it so you can apply it. So instead of the dots, you get obviously the inversion of the dots. You can also apply a transform of flip horizontal, so it just flipped, or flip vertical. You can also reset it, and you can also hide it, which of course you can do anyway by simply deselecting there. So just click there. But there is a menu, so it's worth checking some of those features out. Well, hope you found this of interest. Any questions about the use of this? Please let me know in the comments. Is there any other things you would like to see with the structures, how to use it? Maybe, like I say, with text, maybe use it with proper photos and images and those sort of things. Please let me know in the comments below. Always great to know. A like or dislike, always appreciated. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Always adding new tutorials about Rebelle. Maybe not as many as I should, but it's also for Photoshop, Affinity Photo, Designer, and many others as well. Bye.